Hey everyone, it's Aaron Schechter from the Wet Shaver Review and 365shaves.com. I am coming to you tonight with a little tutorial. I'm seeing a couple posts on how do I shim a razor. Well, let me first explain what shimming a razor is. What shimming a razor is increasing the blade gap from a 2 or 3 piece non-adjustable razor and increasing the blade gap by using another older blade that has had the sharp edges removed from it, and it will add anywhere, I've read online, depending on what blade you're using, as a shim, anywhere from 0.015, I think I got that right, or 0.0015, I'm sorry, 0.0015 to 0.01 millimeters of a gap. I've heard, and I've only heard it once, that you can get a 0.030 millimeter gap from shimming a razor. That's a pretty, that is a 3/100ths of a millimeter, which in the real world of blades, it's decent distance. If you had enough of them, you could really extend that blade gap. So what you basically do is you take, you're going to do this mostly on mild razors. You would never really want to shim a very aggressive razor, just because it would make a very aggressive razor just a very dangerous instrument at that point. So you're going to need 3 things. You're going to need, number 1, 2 or 3 piece razor. You cannot shim an adjustable razor, like for example right here what I'm holding in my hand, a 1961 Gillette Fat Boy. You can't shim this. There's no way to shim this. There's no reason to shim this because it's adjustable. You can make it as aggressive or mild as you want to. It goes 1 to 9. There's no need to shim it, and even if there was a need to shim it, you couldn't do it anyway. It's just not, it wouldn't work right. Okay, so this only applies to 2 and 3 piece razors. So there's the 3 things you're going to need. You're going to need a 3 piece razor or 2 piece razor. You're going to need actual shavable blade that has a sharp edge, and you're going to need at least 1 blade that you're going to take that's relatively new, that you've saved and cut with a normal pair of scissors. You take an average blade, like I'm holding in my hand, like this Gillette Super Platinum. This is a shim blade, okay? And what you do is you take a scissor and you cut the sharp edge off of both sides. You cut the actual sharp edges off of both sides, so what you're left with is the body of the blade itself. That's all that's there. So what you're going to do is you always start out with your top plate, okay? You take your top plate, right here, your top plate, for those that don't know what I'm referring to, is the part that has the post on it. The post and the holding studs. So what you're going to do is you're going to actually take your real live blade, your Astra, in my instance, an Astra SP. This has its sharp edge on it. It's still alive. This is a sharp blade. Be very careful. And you're going to put that on first. That goes on before anything. Okay, so there we are. We have my Astra SP loaded first in. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take one of your shims. Like I said, it can add anywhere. It really depends on what manufacturer the blade is made from, because every single blade manufacturer makes their blades to a different thickness. So YMMV, your mileage may vary. I can't tell you how much you're actually going to shim your razor, though I gave you a good rule of thumb in the beginning. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your shim and you're going to put it on over the live blade, being very careful not to cut yourself. Now, as you can see, you're going to see, at least I'm going to try to show you, I only have one arm, I'm going to try to be very careful with this, is you can see I have a Gillette Super Platinum over the Astra SP. Personally, myself, with the Record 41C, aka the 1904A, open comb razor, is I like to use 2 shims. So I'm going to add my second shim. And now you see, and my second shim happens to actually be an Astra SP. So now you see I actually have 2 shims and a live blade here, okay? You need to be careful with all this. Because even though they're shims, you could still cut yourself with them, even though the sharp edge has been taken off. The next thing you do is you're going to take your base plate, just the bottom base plate, and you're going to put it on. And you will have a completed top plate and base plate together with your live blade and your shims, however many you choose to put in it, in. You're then going to take your handle and you're going to screw down like normal. You're not going to do anything special past this point. And you are going to, if I can get this thing to thread on, for some reason it's not threading on for me. Did I do something? Yeah, here we go. I just holding that at the wrong angle. And I'm finally going to end up like this with the Astra SP, as I could see it in the video, on the very top, and that's going to be what's contacting your face. And from the underside's perspective, what's happening is where the handle is meeting up with the base plate, it's hitting those shims and increasing the distance of the blade to the actual comb. If I really wanted to get out a feeler gauge, I could probably tell you how much I actually increased the gap, but I could tell you this, I definitely increased the gap, because I could tell the difference in the shave from when I use no shims to when I use a shim. Now, all that being said, the one thing I will say is that shimming a razor is more of a hack of a thing to do. Like, hey, I don't have an adjustable, there's no way for me to get an adjustable, but I have this razor and it's just not aggressive enough for what I have going on. So therefore I need to do something to make my razor usable and more aggressive and suit my facial hair needs a little bit more. I still very strongly recommend, instead of shimming a razor, get yourself the right tool for the right job. Get yourself an adjustable razor, whether it be, it doesn't really matter. I don't care if it's a Future, Vision, Progress. I don't care if it's an old Gillette Super Adjustable, Fat Boy, Slim Boy, bottom dial adjustable Fat Boy. It doesn't matter. And any adjustable, or even a non-adjustable that's just a more aggressive razor like the R41 or a 37C slant bar, that's a better option than shimming a razor, because shimming a razor, it's a hack. You're not really doing anything but adding broken parts in order to kind of jimmy rig the razor to do something it was not intended to do. I'm personally of the school of thought of use the tool for what it was meant to be used for, and in my instance, the Mercor 41C, aka 1904, it's a great razor, but it was meant to be a mild razor. It was not meant to be R41 Moulet. It was not meant to be a 37C Mercor, so why use it as one? Though you can if you shim it. So there's the knowledge. Use it as you will. Be safe when you're doing all this. You are dealing with very, very sharp blades. I don't want to hear anyone come back to me and say I didn't give you that warning that you're dealing with sharp blades. That should be common sense. When you're cutting the blades, be very careful. When you're holding them, be very careful. When you're placing them into your top plate, be very careful. Treat them all like they're live blades, and you can cut and rip your fingers open on every single one of them. And I hope that works and helps some people out, because some people ask for some detailed instructions on how to shim a razor. That's how you shim it. Any other questions? Feel free to hit me up either on YouTube, or we'd love to have you on our group, the Wet Shaver Review, on Facebook. And we would love to have you there. It's a great community, and we'd love to help each other out and give some really good reviews on some products. On that note, I hope everyone enjoys their weekend. It's Friday night, and we have the weekend ahead of us, so enjoy, okay? See you all soon. I'm actually coming back probably tomorrow with a tutorial on how to use a single edge razor. Probably a Gem 1912 or an Everready 1912. Maybe I'll use both. I don't know. Maybe I might get saucy and use both. Anyway, nice talking to everyone. Have a great night. Talk to you all soon.